Hey everyone, welcome to another review done by me, your favorite Italian, Vito from Cask Strength. So this week, obviously Irish. I got my Dropkick Murphys t-shirt on, my crazy Irish thing with red hair, because I'm just ridiculous and I think this is, kind of funny. I'm sure some people will probably be on my side about this. So this week, Connemara Peated Single Malt Irish Whiskey. It's owned by the Kilbeggan Distilling Company, founded in 1757, the oldest licensed distillery in Ireland, which is pretty cool. They own Kilbeggan, Connemara, Tyrconnell, and Two Gingers. And they also own Cooley Distilling, which does a lot of the distilling for all their expressions, brands. So a little bit about the Connemara. In my professional research, it's made up of a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, and an 8-year-old. Malt, peated to 13 or so ppm, which is phenol parts per million. And there's a little bit of a love-hate relationship, I feel, with the ppm rating, because as far as I'm aware, the ppm is calculated prior to the fermentation. I could be mistaken. If I am, let me know in the comments below. So when it comes out of the fermentation and all the entire distilling process, it's not quite at that level anymore. I feel like that's right. I feel like I heard it explained to me that way. So, but you still get a lot of peat in this. But I shouldn't say a lot. You get a fair amount. Obviously, like if you go to like an Islay whiskey, it's gonna blow the amount of peat in this completely out of the water. But you get enough in there. And the closest thing that I can compare this to is the peated malt in the Glenfiddich Fire and Cane, which just came out, which then lends the mind to go, well, is this Irish peat? Is this Islay peat? Is this Highland peat? And I'm kind of in my research, they used to source the peat from Banagher. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But now it's apparently from Scotland. So, if they're getting peated malt from Scotland, they you can absolutely just assume that this is probably the same sort of peat that Glenfiddich is using. And if I'm not mistaken, Glenfiddich is using Belvini peat, which is next door to the Glenfiddich distillery. Alright, so on the nose, right away, like I just said, get an earthy kind of peat, similar to the Fire and Cane, Belvini and all that. So it's right in your face, and right smack behind it is rhubarb, a buttery rhubarb pie. I had an amazing sort of realization of this in our last live stream that we did. Link right up here, and it kind of blew me away because I'm not a big fan of rhubarb pie, but when it's always around me at family functions. So for those that never had rhubarb, the best I can kind of describe it is like a sour strawberry, raspberry type of smell and flavor. So right beside that rhubarb, nice ripe pear and apples, a tinge of salt, and a honeysuckle. Not a honeysuckle, just honeysuckle. It's really a magical nose. I could live in this nose for forever. but we can't because I've been told I need to keep my videos short. So right away barley, like a dried cereal, a bit of peat underneath, and you know when you get cereals and they have like the dried fruits in there, and before you put the milk in, you get like that whiff of just a dried cereal and fruit. That smells what this tastes like right away. Honey, vanilla, oak, the barrels. It really is really good, and the finish is a medium length. The peat lingers. The vanilla and oak come out stronger in the finish than it does in on the palate. Everything's just kind of, the palate is just kind of comes, so the oak and vanilla go up, and everything else on the palate comes down and rides underneath that oak and vanilla, which is really nice. Why am I still wearing this hat? Yeah, it's a great change in Irish whiskey. Having just a little bit of that peat influence really does make this very distinct. If you haven't had it and have seen it and have been interested, definitely give it a shot. It is really good. Yeah, so there was a bit of a change in the rating system from last week. So I'm going to do amendments. So there's going to be a bunch of different slides right now. So the JP Weiser's dissertation is going to be rated a 3. You still want to have it on hand. That's something that you want to have. The Canadian Mist is going to be rated at a solid 1. And here is the context of the 1 rating. For the most part, Brad, Josh, and myself are going to be reviewing these neat out of a Glencairn. So the 1 is an undrinkable or mixer only. So what that would mean is that it's not enjoyable to drink neat in a in a cocktail and that sort of deal. It can be drunk. So that's how the 1 rating is going to work. And I'm going to rate this guy, this Connemara Peated, a 3 as well. I think everyone should have it. It's a great, like I said before, it's a great expression of Irish whiskey to have. Instead of just relying on your Redbreasts and your Jamesons and anything else that's typically Irish and buttery and floral. The peat behind this just gives it a little bit more character, and if you're coming from Scotch or peated whiskey and want to get into Irish whiskey, this is a nice in between to kind of bring you down a step from all that intense flavor. So yeah, this is right there. It's really good. So I'm gonna finish this, and yeah, thanks for joining us, me today. But thank you for sharing this with Brad, Josh, and me, and we will see you next time. Sláinte.